We cannot give up now. We cannot give in. We must keep the faith. Keep our eyes on the prize.
I'm not sure what I'll take away, but I know that it will change me in some way. Welcome.
Let's have an open mind to learn about blackness, black history, what that means to our nation, what that means to our country and to our globe.
So you're going to see things like police with dogs, like biting people who were protesting when marches took place in Birmingham during the Civil Rights Movement.
I lost it during the video when they started talking about the kids, and they kept repeating the age 14. And my child is 14. And I think about the safe spaces that I just think that they're okay in.
And that's what this is about, right? It's about seeing the things that we see here as we're on the journey and thinking about where they show up when we're not, right? When we're at home, when we're in our cars, when we're leaving on Sunday. And that's such an important piece to hold on to and consider as we move forward.
I just remember feeling afraid, totally afraid, completely uncomfortable.
So can we talk about the tension of that stuff? So there's this part of me that wants that for us. And then I look back at the bridge and while we're on it, and I'm like, why do we get to have it? They didn't get to have it. One contention is because they didn't get to have it, can we have it? The other makes me curious about the mandate for myself.
If we think of the bus boycott as like something that they did and then things changed, see, things can change. No, they did this for over a year. These buses were running for over, not 2 weeks, not 6 months. The bus company wasn't like, okay, we got to do something.
And
It was over a year, you know?
Yes, but here's the other part to
It
that
was a
narrative.
quick change, and they
well,
were like,
because
oh, yeah.
if it was like in 11 days,
They
the
were like, yeah,
institution
they're right.
understood it.
Exactly. That's what
right.
I'm
but
trying
they were
to
like,
say.
we looked at our fiscal year, which
That's
was
right.
365 days, and saw how
then
much
they said,
money
that's
we were
right.
losing.
We lost. Exactly.
And then we were like, no,
It wasn't
we'll
a
change
moral
it because
shift.
it hit
It
us
was-
in the pocket.
Exactly.
We had to do that as a community. The first time I got TMS, I was like, listen. Not today, okay?
I can't do it this morning.
I'm tired, and self-care is a form of resistance. So.
Right.
The driver said that if I refused to leave the seat, he would have to call the police, and I told him, just call the police. He then called the officers of the law. They came and placed me under arrest. Violation of the segregation law of the city and state of Alabama transportation. I didn't think I was violating any. I felt that I was not being treated right and that I had a right to retain the seat that I had taken as a passenger on the bus. The time had just come when I had been pushed as far as I could stand to be pushed, I suppose. I had decided that I would have to know once and for all what rights I had as a human being and a citizen, even in Montgomery, Alabama.
E.D. Nixon and other black leaders called for a one-day bus boycott. In some cities, it would have been impossible to organize 40,000 people in 2 days. But Black Montgomery had a core of activists in the Women's Political Council, and they distributed these boycott notices all over the city.
I called every person who was in every school and every place where we had planned to be at that, have somebody at that school or wherever it was at a certain time, that I would be there with materials for them to disseminate. I didn't go to bed that night. I cut those stencils. I ran off 35,000 copies.
Definitely my rose was Rosa Parks, no pun intended. Right, but definitely the Rosa Parks piece was the rose for me. I think all the work that she did, I didn't know a lot of that information, so I was like, wow, But I think the bud was the transition to the Freedom Riders, because I felt like Rosa was the bud for them.
By the late 19th century, segregation of blacks and whites had become an entrenched way of life in the South. In December 1960, another Supreme Court ruling declared segregated restrooms, restaurants, and waiting rooms for interstate bus, train, and plane passengers unconstitutional. 5 months later, that law would be severely tested by Freedom Riders.
We can't stand for this. We can't stand for this. We can't stand for this. No, we can't stand for this. 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 Hell no, we can't stand for this. It's been a long time coming. I got on my soldiers, give my team. Why they gonna take our life for a little bit of clout and a little bit of green? No, we can't stand for this. We can't stand for this. But we can't stand for this. No.
She planted and started that work, and they continued it and took it to a whole level that allowed us to do what we're doing today. So I thought that was wonderful. But then the thorn for me was the pain that they endured while making that happen.
Through all of that and that recognition that the community is what founded us, and all the work that Tuskegee historically did was all about improving the condition of the black community. Everybody's heard of Tulsa, Black Wall Street. Booker T. Washington gave it its name, that moniker, Black Wall Street. There's this nice community that the black community grew up in there called Greenwood Community. That Greenwood community actually got its name from the Greenwood Village right outside the gates. The community right outside the gates was the first planned community built by designed by black people in this country. Washington took that idea and he would travel the world, travel the country. Eventually, he started doing some traveling around the world. But it was to tell the story of the work that was happening here at Tuskegee. There are a number of historically black towns and settlements that still exist it was all about this grand experiment that you're looking at here called Tuskegee.